As a pastor of a local church and the leader of a Christian school, my prayer is that we would see an army of young people being discipled in the faith and who are sent out into the workforce for the glory of God and for the sake of the gospel. God is at work in our country. God is at work in the lives of young people. And may it be our prayer that God will do great things in our families, churches, schools, and communities.
From Living Word Church, you're listening to the Living the Word podcast, encouraging you to walk steadfastly in your Christian faith.
On university campuses across our country, young people are gathering to protest Israel and to voice support of a terrorist organization. It is almost unbelievable to consider that in a post-9/11 world, that support for Hamas would be making the headlines, especially in America, where we witnessed one of the most horrific acts of terrorism on our own soil. The shocking ignorance of those who are shouting their support for a regime of hate is the direct result of the indoctrination that is taking place on liberal college campuses across our country. Another reason for the ignorance is the fact that many of these young people were not even born when Islamic terrorists murderously used airplanes as their weapons of mass destruction on September 11th, 2001. When you have a college that has to cancel their graduation and a bridge in San Francisco that is blocked for 8 hours and many other examples of public displays of foolishness, it can become discouraging to think about the young people of our country and about the future they are preparing for themselves. For these reasons and many others, we need to pray for our country and the young adults who will become our nation's leaders. We need an awakening to the gospel of Jesus Christ like our country saw under Jonathan Edwards in the early years of the 18th century. Perhaps that is what is taking place in pockets of our country even right now. On Wednesday, April 24th, on the campus of Liberty University, 20,000 plus college students gathered for an outdoor service. There was a time of singing and prayer and preaching. These college-age students gathered not to protest the nation of Israel and support the evil that is terrorism, but to pray for the peace of Jerusalem and to glorify God with their voices. The chancellor of Liberty University had this to say about that gathering. Jonathan Faldwell said, quote, "While so many campuses are erupting in anger, hatred, and violence, it is refreshing to see the students at Liberty University reflecting the love of Christ as we are commanded to do in Scripture. Jesus clearly tells us to love, and it is so telling that in higher education today, it seems as if some of the only places where love is being displayed are from the campuses of Christian universities like Liberty. There is no greater joy than seeing God's people delight in His truth." I see great hope for our country when I read a story like this. As a pastor of a local church and the leader of a Christian school, my prayer is that we would see an army of young people being discipled in the faith and who are sent out into the workforce for the glory of God and for the sake of the gospel. So yes, the headlines that get all of the attention can often be discouraging, but not every story makes the headlines. God is at work in our country. God is at work in the lives of young people. And may it be our prayer that God will do great things in our families, churches, schools, and communities for the sake of His name and for the advancement of His gospel.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you would like to submit a potential question, a topic, or an idea for a future episode, or learn more about the Living the Word podcast, you can visit us at livingwordhoma.com. We would like to say thanks to all of you who subscribed, shared episodes, and left reviews. Living the Word podcast is a production of Living Word Church in Houma, Louisiana, under the leadership of Pastor Ben Buffkin. Our prayer is that you will remain faithful to living the Word.